Great. Okay, just getting the go ahead here from the Arbor team. So I'm sure there's a few more people that will be joining us for this next hour, but to be respectful of everybody's time, I want to ensure that we get started. We have a lot of content to cover today. So just to kick off, thank you so much for joining the session today. I'm Julia Wilkie. I am the COO at Willful. And as part of my mandate at Willful, I have the pleasure of working with the team at Arbor to implement the partnership between our two companies. We're so thrilled to be partnering with Arbor. They're a leader in the funeral and cemetery space in Canada, and we believe that there's so much that we can do together to encourage pre-planning amongst families. Our relationship with Arbor began back in 2020 when we began publishing co-branded marketing materials and some thought leadership. This led to a combined research study, and I think we'll be sharing some of the results of that study about a year later. And now we're thrilled to be able to offer a fully integrated partnership. And part of that is these pre-planning services that we're able to offer exclusively to Willful customers that we'll be chatting with you about today. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking, but, I think just to level set the context for today, you've already come to Willful and completed your will, which is a huge first step when it comes to estate planning and, pre-planning for your future. So firsthand how important planning is. Our hope is that you'll take all of the great information that you shared as part of your Willful experience with relation to your funeral and burial wishes, and take that one step further by implementing these important plans with Arbor in terms of a pre-plan. And the goal again is to provide not only yourself but your family with peace of mind that all of these really important elements are taken care of. So before we dive in, just quick housekeeping. I had lots of questions about pre-planning before I learned about it from Arbor. I'm sure you will too. If you do have questions, please put them in the chat and we will respond to those questions at the end of the presentation. If we don't get through your questions, have no fear. We'll also ensure that anything that we don't get to, we respond to in writing afterward. And that's all I've got. So with that, I will hand it over to the team at Arbor to walk you through the process and benefits of pre-planning.
Welcome, everyone. Let me begin by introducing myself. My name is Jeannie, and I'm a licensed funeral and cemetery pre-planning director since 2015. At the age of 6, I knew my life's work would be dedicated to serving humanity. Today, my work is extremely meaningful as I am honored to meet with individuals who entrust me with their wishes and how they want to be remembered. It's a responsibility that I take to heart. A little fun fact about me, I'm a yoga instructor, and once while I was on vacation, the resort offered me a position to instruct yoga. So after a few negotiations and a few pina coladas, we settled on me instructing for the duration of my stay in exchange for a t-shirt that read, "Fitness Team." I felt so cool walking around the resort with this t-shirt. Fun, I know. My focus is to empower you with education on pre-planning so that ultimately you make the best decision on how you want to be remembered.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Teresa Sanchin, and it's a privilege to speak with you today. My first experience with the bereavement sector was about 25 years ago when a very special person passed away. And even though it was a very difficult time for my family, the funeral home made it a beautiful experience. And it's that experience that inspired me to become a pre-planner to help other families find meaningful ways to honor their loved ones and to make the experience of death calmer and less stressful for everyone. And a fun little tidbit about me is that I tend to go a little bit overboard for the holidays, especially Halloween and Christmas. And this year, I was delighted to have my spooky outdoor decor nominated in a local Halloween contest. So now back to Jeannie.
So to begin, I'd like to tell you about the company that we are so proud to represent. Arbor Memorial is the largest family-owned funeral and cemetery provider in Canada with multiple locations from coast to coast. Arbor Memorial has been operating since 1947, and just this year, we were so happy to celebrate our 75th anniversary. We have 42 cemeteries, 28 crematoriums, and over 90 funeral homes. The benefit of our coast-to-coast service is that you have peace of mind knowing that if you move to a new city or perhaps another province, your plans move with you. When advanced planning with our company, you and your family will receive access to our exclusive family security benefits, which includes our national deed exchange program, our protection agreement, and our child and grandchild protection. In a recent survey we conducted with Willful, only 1 in 3 Canadians have initiated the courageous conversation of end-of-life planning. So I understand that this is a very sensitive topic, but after many years and experience working for Arbor and helping countless families along my journey, I try to impress the importance that pre-planning matters. Throughout our lifetime, we plan for many special events and cemeteries and celebrations. Funerals are no different. In fact, we should all have a say on how we want to be remembered without having to place heavy decision-making onto our loved ones, especially during a time of duress, and in some cases with limited resources. Of the 1/3 of Canadians who started the planning conversation, 57% said the conversation went as they expected. 24% felt it was tough, and 19% found it less difficult than they'd imagined. Our licensed professionals are able to lead the conversation with you and your family in the comfort of your own home, virtually or in person. I myself have met with families at the local coffee shop. To me, it's whichever location makes you feel most comfortable. Let's pause for a moment. I want you to think about the person who will be finalizing your final arrangements. Think about where they might be at that point in time. There are 87 decisions that will need to be made within 72 hours after a death has occurred. That family member or friend is the reason why you want to further this conversation, because someday everyone will need to face making these final arrangements. Most of us have purchased insurance, especially during the recent pandemic. We buy car, home, and life insurance to prepare and to protect us from the worst, and hoping never to use it. By now, we have completed our wills, and the next step in completing the puzzle is to finalize our final funeral and cemetery arrangements. We consider pre-planning a piece to your security puzzle, and those pieces include other planning points in life, such as estate planning, retirement plan, investments, and health insurance. So we're going to take a moment, sit back, and let's watch this short video.
Let's talk about something that no one wants to talk about or even think about. Something that no one's been able to avoid regardless of economic or social status. Life, like any good story, has a beginning, middle, and an end. So let's talk about death. Life's final chapter. For now, let's acknowledge that death visits every one of us sooner or later. Planning our final arrangements ahead of time can help relieve pressure on family and friends. To start, you need the facts to navigate through the process. You need to know what questions to ask yourself and how to determine what matters most to you and those you love. Then, you can record your wishes and discuss them with your family. so that there's no doubt in anyone's mind. One of the most important questions to ask yourself is, how does your final chapter read? How do you want to be remembered? If you prefer the traditional approach, then you can have a religious funeral service and burial. If you prefer something more modern and contemporary, then your ceremony and final resting spot can reflect your passions. Maybe you're a bird watcher and you want bird songs playing at your service. Maybe you're a rider and you want a procession of motorcycles. Maybe you're a scuba diver or an avid chef. The point is, your final arrangements will be exactly as you want and will reflect your taste, culture, lifestyle, and budget. And you'll have made your passing considerably less stressful for your family and friends. You want to choose a funeral home and cemetery that can accommodate every wish, no matter how unusual, one that can provide a complete suite of services and take care of everything for you. Once everything else is in place, you can decide what financing structure best suits your lifestyle and budget, allowing enough time to discuss payment schedules with your family. With pre-planning, you can cross one big thing off your to-do list and get on with the story of your life.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the benefits of pre-planning. So first of all, your family knows your wishes. There's no second guessing if the decisions they are making are what you would have wanted. Pre-planning reduces the legal and financial burdens for your loved ones. Pre-arranging your service and choosing a plan that's in keeping with your budget, whether payments are across 1, 10, or even 20 years, makes pre-planning affordable. Pre-planning prevents emotional overspending. Those who love us want the very best for us, even when that may not be affordable for them. Pre-planning allows for you to control the costs now. Pre-planning eliminates inflation costs. Pre-planning guarantees today's current costs, even if the services are not needed for many years to come. Simply, pre-planning makes the difficult experience easier for those you love. Those families who have pre-planned with us often report being grateful that everything was in place. Decisions made now mean that your family is spared the burden later, especially during an emotional time. The thought of pre-planning your funeral may seem overwhelming. Let's face it, funerals are not something we typically discuss casually over family dinner. While you may be hesitant to talk about funerals, we are here to help normalize the dialogue and guide you through the process. With the Arbor solution to pre-planning, we have broken down the pre-planning process into 4 easy to navigate steps. The first step is to consider your needs. What thought, if any, have you given to funeral pre-planning? What would you like your funeral to look like? How do you want to be remembered? We wear many hats during our lifetime, as adult children to aging parents, perhaps as parents ourselves, as spouses, siblings. We may have professional titles, or we may be members of a community organization or special interest group. These roles define our value systems, and those values help us navigate life's important decisions. At Arbor, we take the time to learn about you, to consider and discuss your wishes, and to create a plan as unique as you are. The next step is to compile your information. We recognize that planning can be overwhelming. We offer free tools to help you organize your information and record vital personal details that will be needed by your family at the time of passing. You can also record the whereabouts of important documents such as insurance policies, property deeds, or a marriage license. While compiling your information, it may be a good time to consider and record some personal preferences, like which charitable organizations you support, or songs or musical selections you'd like added to your funeral playlist, eulogy notes and biographical details to help coordinate a meaningful and personal service. Compiling your information for your executor and family members will help make their jobs easier at the time of need. Step 3 is to create your unique plan. Once you've had time to consider your needs and you've gathered your important personal information, we help you explore the traditional or contemporary options available that reflect your taste, culture, and budget. People often ask us, how much does a funeral cost? Is cremation cheaper than burial? The reality is we're all driven by our financial ability to make decisions that are in keeping with what we can afford. And for anyone who's been in the position of having to make arrangements when someone has passed away unexpectedly, it's the worst time to be making decisions that could cost hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands of dollars payable upfront. Very few of us have that kind of money at our immediate disposal. Pre-planning is the best gift we can give our families by removing the uncertainty from decision-making in documenting your wishes in advance and securing today's costs versus future inflation. We bring it all together in step 4, completing the final details. In the final stage of arrangements, we identify the value of your plan with an itemized contract that clearly details the decisions you have made. Whether a traditional one-day visitation, same-day option, memorial service, or celebration of life, those details are recorded, and we will outline the various time payment plans available, from 1 to 20 years in some cases. Know that premiums are commensurate with one's age and costs are protected by insurance. This means that if you were to pass away while making payments, the balance owing is covered by insurance. If you believe in the value of pre-planning, we will work with you to find a monthly, quarterly, or biannual payment plan that's in keeping with your financial comfort level. Once plans are finalized for funeral or cemetery, we ensure that the plans made now continue to meet your needs. We recognize that sometimes plans change with time, so there's flexibility where needed to modify decisions should you wish. Arbor has the added benefit of transfer privileges that enable portability of your plan if you move. With over 90 funeral homes across Canada, we would honor your pre-arrangement at any of our branches without penalty at their full value. One of the many advantages of pre-arranging with Arbor. In addition to our national transfer privilege, for those that enjoy travel, whether in Canada or abroad, we also offer Journey Home Travel Protection Insurance. This value-added benefit provides coverage for the rest of your life, no matter where you travel in the world or how often you may travel. Anytime you're more than 100 kilometers away from your principal residence, you are covered. The plan covers 100% of the cost to repatriate your body home without having to pay for the expenses out of pocket. This is an important distinction as other travel plans require that you pay the expenses up front and then submit your receipts to recoup the funds. Equally important with Journey Home, it's a simple phone call to initiate the process of repatriation. Repatriation can be very costly, up to tens of thousands of dollars in some cases. It can also be a complicated and stressful process if you're trying to navigate it alone. Journey Home covers the full cost and is simply the best travel protection available. For a single payment of $595, Journey Home is available as a standalone policy or together with your funeral pre-arrangement. Now, Jeannie is going to tell you a little bit more about Arbor cemeteries.
Thank you, Teresa. When you plan today for tomorrow, we believe that your confidence and convenience should begin with our very first interaction. We have established a simple guidance program to best serve our families and provide them with the best possible experience. All of our cemetery grounds offer both burial and cremation options. We are able to accommodate any denomination, tradition, or preference. These options can include ground burials marked with beautiful upright monuments, bronze memorials flush to the ground, private outdoor cremation structures, our exclusive outdoor nature walks, and our indoor cremation chapels. Cemeteries provide lasting memories and permanent tributes to your loved ones. They are also beautifully maintained and protected green spaces that invite family and friends solace and comfort, a place to reminisce and reflect, and even to reconnect with family tradition and heritage. Every Arbor location is as distinct as the community that surrounds it. Our gardens are no exception, with each one reflecting the needs and wishes of different burial and memorial customs. Across the country, many of our funeral homes are located on cemetery grounds, providing families with the convenience of making all final arrangements at one single location. Each of our beautifully designed and decorated funeral homes can comfortably accommodate the most intimate of family gatherings to the largest showing of community support. Prior to the pandemic, this study shows the national average cost for cemetery for 2 people was just over $22,000. Our company believes that if our prices are comparable to what people are spending in old style cemeteries, then most people would prefer to use our cemeteries. Our properties have been developed to reflect serene park-like settings. We've created a warm and peaceful place where visitors actually feel comfortable and enjoy visiting all year round. This chart demonstrates that cemetery costs will not decline. If you take a look at 2015, now to me, that seems like it was just yesterday. The average national cost was $23,000. And remember, this is just for cemetery. It does not include the funeral costs. We flash forward to 2030, which is only 7 years away, and the price will have doubled. And by the time 2040 rolls around, the cost will have tripled. This graph shows a moderate 5% inflation rate. And just by looking at it, that's pretty alarming. Our company pioneered the Perpetual Care Fund under a government mandate. And in this agreement, we are required to deposit a percentage of each interment space purchased into a trust fund. The interest gained from this account will ensure that our properties are continually maintained even long after our cemeteries have reached capacity. These funds are used to maintain lawns, shrubs, planting flowers, maintaining buildings, niches, and snow removal. And it's important to note that your survivors will never face the added expense of maintenance fees. There is only one of 2 ways in which we make final arrangements. They are either made for us or by us. When arrangements are made for us, survivors come to us feeling overwhelmed and often exhausted. Overcome by emotions, loved ones will have to immediately address some very important decisions on unfamiliar matters. All too often, I have observed families bear the financial strain which causes unnecessary duress. But when arrangements are made by us, we have time. We have time to select, to plan, discuss payment options. We may even share a laugh or two right from the comfort of your own home. And so the question remains, who am I going to leave the responsibility of my final arrangements with? Or do I take this into my own hands and do it my way so that my loved ones can do exactly what they're supposed to do, which is grieve and celebrate my life? Arbor is especially proud to partner with Willful. Our Alliance program offers free professional guidance, planning tools, and a discount for Willful customers and their immediate family members. Why choose Arbor? Well, we're a family-owned company. We've got multiple locations across Canada. We've heard Teresa speak about the Journey Home Travel Protection Plan. We have family benefits, skilled licensed professionals to assist you, and that special discount as an Arbor Alliance member. So today I leave you with a final thought. Someday, everyone will have to face making final arrangements. It's kinder, easier, and more economical to do it today and together. Over 1 million families across Canada have made their final arrangements with Arbor. Each one of us today can influence positive decisions within our families and our community. Teresa and I thank you so much for your valuable time. We look forward to continuing this conversation with you personally or online. And right now, we would like to invite you to chime in with any questions or have any comments that you would like to share. So please go ahead.
Looks like
I'm
there's,
just,
oh,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it looks like there's one question from Christopher here. Aside from pre-planning for just burial or cremation, is it possible to pre-plan for aquamation as well?
Yes, so aquamation or alkaline hydrolysis is just another disposition option. It's not widely available in Ontario yet, but certainly just like arranging a burial through funeral home or a cremation, you could certainly arrange to have alkaline hydrolysis if it is available in your area. And I see there's another question, and it looks like it's someone is asking, does Arbor have a crematorium? And yes, we do have many crematoriums across Canada.
I see a question here. Does Arbor have a columbarium? Columbariums are niche structures for cremation, and we offer many columbarium options throughout our cemeteries across Canada. So yes. Yes, absolutely, we do.
I think the person who was interested in the columbarium is asking how they can be connected with a cemetery close to Pickering, and we will be happy to contact you and share with you how you can make those inquiries.
There's another question here. Do you offer biodegradable burial capsule?
At this time, we do not offer a biodegradable capsule.
And there's another question here. What is the average monthly premium for the services you are providing?
So that's a very difficult question to answer. That is kind of like going into a car dealership and saying how much is a monthly payment. So it would depend on several factors. The person's age is a factor, the type of service you choose, the type of perhaps merchandise you choose, as well as the payment term. So just like any payment plan, if you pay it over a longer time period, your payments monthly will likely be less. So that's something that we would be happy to work with you to give you a no obligation estimate, but we would need a few more details. So feel free to contact one of us and we would be happy to help you with that. Thank you, Chris.
There's another question here. How much is the average space in the columbarium?
Okay, yes, I see a couple of questions here. I only have an urn to put in the columbarium. I believe that this is the same person. All of our columbariums accommodate up to 2 urns. So if you only have the one urn to place in the columbarium, the only thing that we have to be mindful is that if you are using your own personal urn that you have purchased outside of Arbor, we just have to make sure that the dimensions will fit the actual space. The average space in a columbarium, that depends. Columbariums can be 6 niches high or stories high. So depending on where in terms of the columbarium, whether you would prefer a space at the very top or very bottom or somewhere within eyesight, it can definitely reflect on the pricing. So that is something that I can definitely help you with. But we just need to sit down and talk a little bit about what that would involve. So please feel free to contact us.
Look like there's a couple more questions on pricing.
Yes.
Does it make sense to revisit those offline?
Sure.
So how does the contact work? Do you contact them? Do they contact you with this information?
Well, I can certainly, if they would like to contact me, my phone number and my name is on the screen here. Yes. So just to go back, this person had a question, eyesight, meaning within eye view. So there are some columbariums that are in the middle. So some are higher, some are lower, and some are directly within eye view. So the pricing will reflect on which level of the columbarium you prefer. So if you have additional questions in terms of pricing for 2 urns and the options of location of the niches, please feel free to give me a call. And I can certainly set up a time to meet with you either personally or virtually, and we can go over all of your questions. So again, the question is middle price. They're asking for middle price, price, please. Again, it varies because we do have multiple structures throughout the cemetery. So again, please reach out to me and I can give you some pricing, some specific pricing to what it is that you're looking at.
There's one other question here. May you confirm where we can find a copy of the recording? We will be distributing a copy of the recording out to the attendee list. Any other questions from the group? Feel free to raise your hand or pop them in the chat. Okay, well, thank you so much to the Arbor team for all of this great information. I know I learned a ton today. And thank you to all of the Willful customers who took time out of your day to attend this session. I hope you got some good value out of it, and you'll be in touch with Arbor. As I said, you'll get a copy of the recording. And yes, thank you so much for your time.